Hello, my name's Tim Williamson. I'm a letting agent based here in Ayrshire, run a company called Keylets, and we've been in business for 20 years. And over that time, we've had landlords come to us and we've helped them build their portfolio of properties. And this is the third of a series of short videos in which we've been looking at really the way one can plan a property portfolio, how you can structure your purchasing decisions so that you make sure that you get a good return on your investment, but also to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. So we've looked really at the reason why you're in the market. That was the first video. Basically, we've also looked at who your target market is that you're going to be looking in terms of the types of tenants you're looking at. Now I really want to address the question of where, because Ayrshire covers three counties, if you like: North, South and East Ayrshire. We cover into Renfrewshire as well. So these are distinct markets, and within it there are particular areas which I would advise landlords to look at, but just as importantly, areas that you should discard depending on the type of market that you're looking for. If you're looking for the low end of the market, not an area that we cover, but obviously there are, if you like, areas where you can get very cheap housing, low cost to buy, and it's up to you how you get those tenants. But frankly, it's not the market to say that we're involved in. So there is that market. So when we're looking at where to buy, you again have to also consider, I would suggest, looking at which letting agents you should talk to, or letting agents you should talk to gain that knowledge, so that you've got a clear idea of what is going to rent. Because I think that insider information is probably one of the most beneficial things when you're looking at buying properties, particularly to stop you from making mistakes. And one of the areas that, top tip, if you like, I would suggest is if you're going to be speaking to a letting agent, speak to one who is solely in lettings. A lot of estate agents, particularly in the recession, have dived into the rental market. And obviously, I would suggest that they have a certain bias in terms of what you should buy. At least if you're speaking to a letting agent who hopefully will get your business, like Keylets, because we only do lettings, then at the end of the day you'll get an honest appraisal of a property. Because if we're going to rent it out, there's no point in kidding you on that this is a wonderful thing, and then you buy it and absolute disaster. So it's in the letting agent's interest to make sure that you work together as a partnership to make sure that you are buying a viable property for rental. So I would suggest, as I say, looking for a letting agent who deals solely in lettings and is not involved in the sales market. And working closely with the agent is very important, we found, certainly with our landlords, and working closely at a very early stage. Now, when we're looking at properties with our landlords, the landlords will work out the strategy. Then they'll look at the schedules, because they've got to have a feel for what they want, and they've gone and viewed the property, and they'll come back to us, and then often as not, we'll go with them to the second viewing on preferred properties. So at the end of the day, we can hopefully put their input into what we can see in that property, some things that maybe the landlord hasn't considered, and also has a bearing on what kind of offer they want to make for that property. So, working hand in glove with a letting agent, I think I'll say it obviously, but I do think is a viable and worthwhile way of doing things, particularly if you're buying from a distance, or this is a new investment strategy for you. So, on that point, I have this very useful, hopefully, little ebook that I've stuck together. You can download it from the website. It's how to rate a letting agent. I've put a number of pointers in there so that you can actually ask the awkward questions. There's a checklist at the back to help you, assess the agents that you want to consider, and hopefully you'll come to Keylets as one of those agents that you'll put on your list. But hopefully that will be a real benefit to landlords who are looking for that guidance, looking for that knowledge. Now, in terms of where to look in Ayrshire, another thing one really needs to consider is if you're looking for an investment property, you can really look at the large towns. I mean, in Ayrshire, you've got Ayr, Prestwick, Troon, Kilmarnock, Irvine, and Cowinning as well. Sorry. So, these are nice towns, but don't discount places like Lochwennock, which is in Renfrewshire, or Beath, which are commuter towns for Glasgow and Paisley. They're nice properties there, and because of the nature of the sort of rural towns, that they are attractive, and they have very good links, if you like, to Glasgow. But if you're looking in Ayrshire, South Ayrshire, close to the airport, Prestwick, that's a very good one. That has a major hub in terms of industry, or the university, here in Ayr. These are sort of draws, if you like, for the right kind of tenants, and that can help, obviously, in terms of the type of property that you're looking for. There is a corporate market here. It's not as big as, obviously, the conurbations and the cities, but, again, if you're looking at a decent quality property, and a two-bedroom property rather than maybe a three or a four, then that might well work for you. Now, as a general rule, if you're looking at a one or two bedroom property in a town, furnished works. If you're looking at a 3 or 4 bedroom property, unfurnished is more likely to better for you, because the biggest thing you don't want is periods of empty properties, voids as they call it in the industry, where you don't have an income because you lose 1 month's rent, and over the year you obviously have lost a considerable amount of money. So these sort of decisions have to be based on that sort of knowledge, if you like, in terms of the size of the property, who's going to pay it, what the rental is. And one of the things I would suggest is, obviously, location. Everyone says it, but it's true. It is so important. Even if you're looking at the housing benefit market, there are certain areas I would suggest that you shouldn't go to, because when we're looking at housing benefit tenants who pay a month in advance and a deposit and have a working guarantor, which is standard that we work to, they're going to be looking at a better quality area, even though it's ex-local authority, than maybe some of the poorer areas that haven't got such a good reputation. And if you don't know where these areas are, then definitely speak to a letting agent if you're looking at an income proposition rather than a capital growth proposition, which is what we discussed in the first video. So, when you're looking and working closely with a letting agent, they can answer a lot of these questions. But one of the other valuable tools you can get from a letting agent, and certainly something that we do for our landlords who are looking to buy properties, is we can provide a report that's created through Rightmove that can show what properties are rented for within certain postcodes, and equally historically as well as current. So you can have a good idea of what the actual rental has been achieved for a particular area. Now that's a really good tool to help you make a decision as to whether you want to buy in that area or not. Now, I can't speak for other letting agents, but it's certainly something that we're happy to work with our landlords with. So, using that, getting the knowledge, looking at the areas, getting the feedback, I think that's, really the key to getting things organised. Now, the other area, harking back to the first video, is not only do you need to ask the reason why, but you've also got to look at your exit strategy. How are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell it as a portfolio? What are the tax advantages? Can you pass it on? You need to speak to an accountant. I would suggest you speak to an accountant at an early stage, because you want the tax regime to work for you. So when you're buying your properties, what costs can you offset? What is the best way, if you're a 40% taxpayer, to gear your funding and such like to actually buy your property? Now those are areas I can't answer. That's something you need to address with a financial expert in that area. But certainly when it comes to lettings, by all means, give me a call, come onto our website. We'd be happy to help you. Well, that's me finished now, and I hope it's been of interest and not too boring. And hopefully check out the website, because there are other videos there. There's a whole video on rental protection, for example. How you can get guaranteed rent or protect that income should a tenant default. Worth checking out. Something, if you're investing, you want to protect your property, definitely worth doing. And that's certainly a service that we offer for our landlords. Okay.